All right. Check one, check two, mic check one, check two. Let me see if this is working. Okay. All right. So hopefully, check one, check two. Hopefully, this is working. And okay. All right. So this is my second live. Today is June 29th. The time is 10:46 in the morning. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Cafe Wish Podcast. I am the host, Cabin Black, and this is my third live. I do a live every week, once a week, as a catch up, as a way to touch base and try to build my audience, try to build my community, to engage with my future audience or my future community that I'm trying to forge here. Um, the first two lives, the first live I went over, the first live that I had went over the concept of Cafe Wish Podcast, what the intent was, what the purpose is, what the purpose was, and why I think it matters, the competitive advantage, um, my goals, how I do things, as far as in stages and phases, uh, for the goals for my podcast here. And the second episode, I talked about some current events, um, things that's going around the world. I did, though, I did talk about that on the first episode as well. But on this episode, I just want to just catch up on the first and second for my episode number three. Um, I want to talk about a couple things here. I have a Substack um, that I am working on and am building as well. So I have several um, platforms that I'm working off of, and I want to put them all together here. So I'll start with Substack since I mentioned it first. All right. So my Substack is entitled Cabin Black. That's just my DBA name. Um, and on my Substack, I have a list of or pictures, a list of things that I addressed from my writings to episodes of my podcast, um, traveling to Ramblon. Also have all the perspectives from historical um, paintings from way back when, from the caveman days to the lithic ages and eras, and also to prehistoric times, to antiquity times, to late antiquity, um, to modernity, to contemporary. Um, One of the things that I definitely want to talk about is the human zoos. Most people don't even know that human zoos existed at all. They don't even know that that was a thing. Human zoos were a form of exploitation for the quote unquote elite to entertain themselves by. Majority of the elite were white Euro people and their descendants. Um, White Euro people who live in the Middle East, white Euro people who live in Europe, white Euro people in Australia, on every continent and region where white Euro people are. They had their own versions of human zoos, but there are popular ones um, that are famous and that are talked about in articles, that are talked about um, in documentaries and films and whatnot. So I'm gonna just go to the website here, and it's called Circus Museum. This is where I get um, this is where I get a lot of these pictures from. And of course, there's other resources that I use, but this is just the commonly the one that I use recently. Um, so looking at one here, looking at this. And all right, so this is coming from circusmuseum.nl. Human zoos. The purpose of the Circus Museum site is to make circus related cultural heritage available to the public. Human human exploitations, that's what is called in Black sociology or sociology in general, that talks about human zoos. It's a form of capitalism. It's a form of, or it's how capitalism was used for the exploitations of Black peoples globally on every continent. And human expositions and the circus collections, and this collection is from 1887 to 1957, which is from the 19th century to the 20th century. Okay, in the period of 1875, 1940, exhibiting people from Africa, Asia, and the Americas was a major element of mass culture. The rise of this type of entertainment coincided with modern imperialism. Coincided with modern imperialism. Posters and photographs of human zoos reflect the European perception of non-European cultures at that time. Human expositions were organized by the authorities as well as private individuals. Authorities meaning as government, right? And private individuals goes into commercial, private investors. The material held in the circus collections comprises the period of 1887 to 1957 and concerns German entrepreneurs, So these are German entrepreneurs, people who are looking for opportunity to make some money. And that's a form of capitalism, right? Small businesses creating large businesses. Someone had a great idea, a business strategy, a business plan, and came together and said, we're going to invest in creating zoos, especially for humans. Now, they didn't view these people as humans at that time because what was going on in the States? You had Jim Crow, and blacks just had gotten free from slavery. Slavery is ending globally around this time. In certain places, slavery is still being practiced, but white European imperialism imposing slavery on black people groups and black peoples globally and on every continent was existing or phasing out, or people were getting their freedom during this time, during the late 17th century to the early 20th century. These are the things that were going on. And in the midst of people, black people groups gaining their freedom, in the midst of this, you have white Euro genetic people with their white nationalism and their white capitalism decided that they were going to start local zoos or start business ventures. So they need investors, they need people who are going to allow their pockets to overflow into this arena. Another way to make money off of black bodies. This is what was going on. So black bodies, once again, are the stock exchange, Wall Street, buying and selling, stock trading shares were black bodies. Black men, black women, black little girls, black little boys. This is what is common. This is what is mundane. This is white Euro genetic modern and contemporary culture, late antiquity culture. This is how they garnered and made so much money. Free labor continuing, slavery in another form. I digress back to the point. So these were German, specifically speaking of the um, human zoos as it's being illustrated here or depicted here in the Circus Museum website. These are German entrepreneurs. They toured Western Europe and Eastern Europe and staged shows at events, venues, and zoos. So they toured Europe, Eastern Europe and Western Europe, Eastern Europe and Western Europe. They toured with these human zoos, hosting shows, staged shows at certain events, at venues and zoos. So these were a circus, a mobilized circus, a mobilized zoo. So I'm going to continue reading here. The playbills, postcards, and photographs reflect the Western gaze of the organizers, yet the perspective of the people who were put on display is lacking. The performers were recruited, presented, and treated in several ways, ranging from coercion, forced to do it, and exploitation, being showcased in any way that these German entrepreneurs thought it was necessary. And there is no right or wrong way to showcase these Black bodies for them. Coercion and exploitation to the active involvement of tropes, who also people who help shape the shows. So you had tropes, you had stereotypes. You had stereotypes and social tropes, wise sayings, proverbs about these people, things that white European globally, white European genetical people created tropes, stereotypes, labels about these people that they coerced and exploited. And using active involvement of tropes, which helped shape and mold the shows, the performances. Continue reading here. The wish to escape from poverty or social marginalization might have been an incentive to participate in these tours. So let me read that one more time from the top of this paragraph. The playbills, postcards, and photographs reflect the Western gaze of the organizers. Yet the perspective of the people who were put on display is lacking, meaning as they were not allowed to represent or give a perspective of who they really are or who they really were. The performers were recruited and presented and treated in several ways, ranging from coercion and exploitation to the active involvement of tropes who helped shape the shows. The wish to escape from poverty or social marginalization might have been an incentive to participate in these tours, which lasted for months. So white Euro people created the condition for these Black people groups to exist in poverty and social marginalization through to their imperialism, their colonization, their white nationalism, their slave trading, from the transatlantic slave trade to the stealing or the takeover of the trans-Sahara slave trade, because they took that over, right? So the white Catholics took over, or started, the white Catholics, all right, from Spain and Portugal, far west as Britain, far east as Germany and Poland, and the Netherlands, the Dutch, good Catholic people, started the triangle trade, which led to the transatlantic slave trade. Then you had white Euro Muslims who took over the trans-Sahara slave trade, who hijacked that. And then you also had other white Euro people who necessarily wasn't tied to a religion, but yet saw fit to make money doing the Silk Road, which is all in turn all connected to white Euro imperialism. And yes, white people who are under the religion of Judaism, who call themselves Jewish people, white Jewish people, benefit and profited from all of this as well. From the insurance companies to insuring boats, insuring plantations, insuring crop and products, and cattle, including the people. A lot of them were investment bankers. A lot of them were um, part of the stock exchange, underwriters for a lot of the policies. Doesn't matter what religion white people were under or white people are under. It doesn't matter. White people are going to do white people. White people are going to be white. Euro people. Going back to the point here of what I'm reading from Circus Museum, the history of human zoos from their perspective and their focus, the down, dialing down focusing on the German entrepreneurs. They created, white Euro people created the condition since the late 15th century, created and fashioned, put together, molded, connected dots, created tropes, created businesses, entrepreneurs, small companies, private investors, using white nationalism, using religion, using all mixed mode of communication, mixed mode of transportation, from boats to trains to planes, ships, or just good old huck and tuck, walking and going, walking and trucking and going. They created the framework of race, racism, and racists. They created the framework, once again, of race, racism, and racists. They created the framework in which these people, Black people groups around the world globally on every continent, they created the condition for these people, as it says here, who wished to escape poverty or social marginalization. Might have been an incentive, might have been. No, I guarantee it most likely was. But I'll go with what it's written here. Okay. The wish to escape from poverty or social marginalization might have been an incentive to participate in these tours, which lasted for months. Then here's another breakdown. Hierarchy of race. Scientists collaborated with the German organizers to acquire knowledge about global cultures. The performers' body measurements were taken, and the color of their skin and the texture of their hair was determined on the basis of detailed schemes. These measurements and anthropological photographs continued to be a source of research for decades. The body measurements contributed to a construction of human races, with the Western race considered as the apex, the top, human development initially. These evolutionary race theories were restricted to scientific circles. But the ethnic shows that drew millions of people helped to popularize, helped to popularize, I can't say that word, helped to popularize, there we go, and cement notions of racial superiority and inferiority. All right, so I did an interview a couple days ago. I posted it already on my social medias. It's called "A Black Like Me." That's the title. So the entitled um, video interview that I posted is "A Black Like Me." Eugenics. And what that is covering is what eugenics is, what race is, racism, and what a racist is, briefly going over those terminologies and definitions, the eugenics tree, and the historical factors and the elements that surrounds eugenics, and the breakdown going bit by bit of what the roots of this eugenic tree is or represents or was used to represent. All of that to say that race is a human construct. Race is a pseudoscience. The hierarchy of races is a pseudoscience. And even at that time, a lot of these research that they were doing, so they put science or the sciences, they attached the sciences to the businesses of what they were creating for the human zoos, because they created a condition of what the world was shaped into because of their imperialism, colonization, from their slavery practices, to their nationalism, to the religious beliefs, to their biases, their tropes, their stereotypes, the whole framework of race and racism and racists was created and forged in their eugenics, from white nationalism to white Eurasianism to white Western imperialism and Western thought, the white Western mind. Howbeit, you had Darwinism, right, kicking off during the late 19th century. Howbeit, what followed was eugenics. Howbeit, what followed after that were human zoos. And somehow this pseudoscience attached itself, coming from religion, their nationalism, their political identity, to their fundamentals of what race and what racists are, what racism is, following to the eugenics, following after that to capitalism. See, when you look at the eugenics tree, the branches, the roots have all that, from capitalism to religion to health to the economy, which is going to capitalism, imperialism, politics, geography, bibliography, biography, every aspect of life, business, commerce. Eugenics touched every framework of life. Every framework of life, eugenics touched. White eugenicists, and white eugenics touched every framework, and it still does today. But keep it in the same framework. White Europe people, created the framework in which we live in today in this contemporary world. Colorism is still a thing. Racism is still a thing. We still use race. That lets you know we still live in this white eugenic fueled oppressed world. In Asia, they still do skin bleaching. They still believe white is right and black is wrong, predominantly. And that's just not in Asia, that's globally. In their politics, racial politics, people, nations' racial politics, their identity politics, their culture politics, their pseudoscience politics, their nationalism, and that politic, so forth and so on. Racial politics, color politics, identity politics, religious politics. Yeah. We're not living in the shadows of it. We are living in the bright sky, lit sky. The sun is shining and the sun is at noon. We're groping blindly at noonday, thinking that we're living in a post-racial world when we're still living in the same framework that was started over 500 years ago. Now, things have changed, but the framework is still intact. Going back to the point here that I'm making, or the points that I'm addressing concerning eugenics, concerning human zoos, concerning my Substack. Actually, this is all of this is a breakdown of my Substack. So let me get back to that really quickly. All right. So this is why I have a Substack, because I'm able to post pictures, post my writings, post my videos. I can just mind dump on Substack and just refer to it at another time, a later date, like I am right now. I have like 2 subscribers on here, and I think I'm one of them. So, this is more for my research. I'm using Substack as a part of my research. It's a tentacle, an extension of my research, a tool to be able to express myself and to use art to be able to help express myself. There is, going back to showcasing why race is, or how race is a social construct. It's not real science, it's pseudoscience. You have a gentleman by the name of Sir Antener Furman. Hopefully I'm saying his name right. I'm probably not saying it right, but all due respect to him, Sir Antenor Furman. He is a Haitian, or he was a Haitian scholar and scientist who showed that science did not support white supremacy. And this is during the times of the late 19th century. He created his life work. He's a Black male anthropologist from Haiti, or from Haiti, and brilliant man. He studied in Europe and traveled the world, and he really was a good instrument. His works was a really good instrument and a brick into the building and the foundation of what anthropologists now look to for truth, especially for Black anthropologist. He laid a lot of uh, the bricks that needed to be laid to pave the way for other people to follow, and he created the pretty much the blueprint to how to challenge a lot of these racial issues that we face today. His body of work, um, one of his pieces of his body of work is the equality of the human races, 1885 CE, Common Era, or for those who are Catholic or Christian, AD. Um, okay, so he joined. He was one of the first um, non-white Euro people to join the anthropological societies in Europe. He challenged racist views, um, and became one of the foundational members and pioneers of anthropology. He definitely was ahead of his time. Today, genetic research confirms that human populations cannot be divided into distinct racial groups. And if you want to learn more about or Sir Antenor or Antenor Furman, you can refer to sciencenews.org and you can research his name and they'll give you a little bit more information on him. Great man, great human being, great person. Definitely a privilege to um, learn about him and continue to learn from him. I have so much more to learn. Um, I'm a novice in this research game. So, yeah, I've been researching since I was a kid, officially in the scholarship world. I have a degree in religion philosophy and I'm pursuing other degrees or planning to. So I'm a novice when it comes to this research. And I'm not ashamed to say that we all have to start somewhere and we all have to start at some point. Um, but in me expressing that, it doesn't take away any relevant things that I'm bringing out. It doesn't take away from the lividity. It doesn't take away from the strength of what I'm saying. Um, and I don't mind being a novice um, researcher. Um, Even if I never got my doctorate, I have I've heard other doctors and other brilliant minds, Zora Neale Hurston, Dr. Uh, Joseph Ben Chohanan, um, from all the other great minds, only two to mention right now, they all make the point saying it doesn't matter if you're a doctor in this, doesn't matter if you are a novice in this. Everyone has a right to lay their brick. Everyone has a right to study and become great authors, great educators, and they both, and all doctors, from what I've heard um, and read about, who are now ancestors, right? Those who I did read about and heard from, listened to, they all make the similar claim: just get started, just start, and take one step at a time, and learn, and do your writing, do your research, do your search, do your research. Don't make it about yourself. Make it about the work. Depersonalize it. Make it about the work. So that's why I said this is my research. Um, so that's on my Substack. And if you want to know about, like I said, about human zoos, you can go to Circus Museum website, and you can look some stuff up there. Circus Museum has a lot of information on there that anyone can just research at any given time. So if you're just starting, or if you want to get started, you just start. So that's circusmuseum.nl. All right. So now I'm going to pivot um, to talk about current events. So in America, I'm an American. And as an American, I understand the culture. You know, we think we are the cream of the crop. We think we are the best thing since sliced bread. We think we are God's divine people as an American people, right? We think we're above everyone and we're better than everyone. And what I mean by we, I'm not talking about black people. We typically don't think this way. Yes, we have an arrogancy because that's every American has that. You know, that's we live in a bubble in America, okay? So everything we is fed to us is about us and how great we are and how great, you know. But really it goes into white Euro narcissism. Okay, that's what that really is. And there's a sister who on YouTube who brings that out, who talks about white Euro narcissism or white narcissism in general. And in America, there has always been ebbs and flows, ups and downs of this white narcissism, right? From the inception of the country till now, we Americans are approaching 250 years, 1776 until now, or today, July 4th is America's birthday. 250 years of white narcissism or white American narcissism. And people have a lot of opinions about race, racism, and racists, and they have a lot of ideas about black people, who's black, who's not, how do you quantify black? Well, these people look back black over here, but they don't consider themselves black over there. You guys look similar here. This brown person who's labeled as brown looks like this black person, but because of politics, they're not the same. America is a different place. I say that to everyone who I meet and interview, and I've been saying that for a very long time. What I mean by a long time, since I was in my early 30s, so at least for the last 10 years. I've done a lot of research, like I said, since I was a kid, from a scholarship perspective, or beginning at a scholarship perspective for me pursuing a bachelor's degree in religion and philosophy until now me working on my masterate, and eventually one of my goals is to reach a doctorate. Um, but nonetheless, in America, white narcissism is it fuels everything. It all goes back to white Euro eugenics and the tropes, the stereotypes. So how America, meaning as white Euro people in this regard, in this context, the world considers America or Americans as white people, right? That's not by accident, that's by design. Eugenics, remember, eugenics roots goes in every direction and touches everything in society around the globe, in all societies. So white narcissism does as well. And when you If you ever get a chance to travel the world, if you're an American and you get a chance to travel the world, the globe, to go to different countries, you'll find yourself hearing these similar views as well. They may not say outright, oh, you're an American, well, I think you're white. No, you can just talk to people and just listen to people, allow them to talk, and then you'll be able to gather the information, because they will say what they really think. So when they talking about who's American, even when they say foreigners, people who are not from America, when they talk about America, they're not talking about you, black man or black woman. They're not talking about me. They're not talking about a brown person. They're talking about white folks. That's who they're addressing. So if we flip it, if we come from the outside, now go in the inside of being an American, Americans, white Americans, consider themselves Americans. They don't consider themselves as white Euro Americans. No, they don't call themselves, oh, I'm a white Euro American. No, they don't do that. They just call themselves American. And everybody else are just visiting. Everybody else is just living there. Everybody else is just one of the small pieces to the many moving pieces that makes America. Everybody else is the help. The field hand, the tool, the ass to ride on. Everyone else is there to serve the purpose of white Americans. This is how white Americans think. Not on the individual level, because racism is never an individual thing, it's a group thing. Race, racism, racist, it's all race, racism, racist. It's all a group thing. It's not an individual thing. So yes, if you are Asian American, you are considered the help. If you are an Arab, brown, black, dark skin, caramel, you are considered the help. If you are African American, you are considered the help. If you are Hispanic, Caribbean, South American, Latino, Caribbean, West Indian, South American, and you are this complexion or darker, you're the help. You are the help. You're there to help. And assimilation is not a bad thing. I was having a conversation with someone over coffee, and we talked about assimilation. Assimilation on the surface level is not a bad thing. I'm assimilating here where I am. But the issue is not assimilation. The issue is what white narcissism requires for you when they mean assimilation. Those are two different realities. What assimilation meaning as, hey, become like us, dress like us, walk like us, talk like us. No, that's not what white narcissism requires. White narcissism requires for you to be the help. That means be in the place, be in the position, see how I see things, white Euro Americans. That's why this how I identify white Americans as white Euro Americans. Okay. I don't see them as Americans. I see them as white Euro Americans. If I'm a black African American, if I'm a black American, if I'm an African American, if I'm brown, if I'm all these things other than American, then you white Euro American. That's how I view white people. Anyway, so when when you want to assimilate you, meaning as with your brown self, with your black self, with your Muslim beautiful self, with your Christian beautiful self, with your Hebrew beautiful self, with your Catholic beautiful self, if you are this complexion or darker, black or brown, with your beautiful Jew, brown, black self, you are the help. If you don't assimilate into being the help, then you become the enemy of the state in their minds. In white European American minds, if you don't assimilate, if you don't lay down how you think, what you believe, if you don't see things the way exactly the way the white European American sees things, you are a problem to them. You're in the way. You're not assimilated. Just assimilate. You can be an American. You could be an Italian American. You can be an Irish American. You could be a Polish American. You could be a Greek American. Well, yeah, it's easy for y'all to do that because you guys created a nationalism, a white nationalism in all those countries. Sure, white people can assimilate very easily in America. But let you be this complexion or darker, you got to be the help. That's how you assimilate there. That means you can't have your own identity and self-determination for you. Someone may say, well, that's not true. We have self-determination in America. I'm this, I'm that, I'm this color, I'm that color, I'm brown, I'm black. No. Doesn't mean you can't be successful. It doesn't mean that you can't have some rights and privileges. Yes, you can have all of that, but you got to assimilate. You got to think through the lens. So if someone's example, so if someone is a Somalian and they immigrate to America, you can keep your Somalian ways, but it has to be filtered through white narcissism. You can't just talk like this. You have to think like that too. That means any part of your Somalian heritage that triggers white Euro Americans, you got to leave that alone. You got to kick that. You got to get that out. You got to assimilate. Anything that makes white Euro Americans uncomfortable about your heritage, where you're from, that got to go. That's what they're saying by assimilation. That's what they mean. They're not going to come out and say, well, forget about how you view you through your lens. No, view you through our lens. They're not going to say it that way. Be a model citizen the way that we want you to be represented. Be the Somali American that makes us feel comfortable. Don't talk about your skin color. Don't talk about your religion and the way you do. Leave Allah and all the other stuff. Leave that, all that religious stuff. Yeah, keep quiet about that. Don't don't talk about, if you're a Christian Somali, don't talk about Black Jesus. We don't want to hear about Black Jesus. Keep those rice and beans over there. You're an American. Eat your swine and shut up. Eat your pork and shut up. That's what they want you to do. They want you to play the game of assimilating, to think the way that they think about you. Because there is an African who can immigrate to America and be from Nigeria, Ethiopia, South Africa, Algeria, Morocco, Madagascar. You can be from anywhere, and from Africa, from the motherland. You can be anywhere from Australia if you're Black Australian, if you're Black South American, Afro, Indigenous South American, Caribbean. You can migrate to America, sure. But you have to be shaped and molded in the image of how white Europeans think about you. That's what they mean about assimilation. Not eat your tofu, eat vegetables, be vegan. No, it don't stop there. They want it all. They want all of you. They want your mind. They want your pocketbook. They want your philosophy. Every way about you needs to make white Euro Americans comfortable. Cause you the help. Yous be the help. So we're approaching 250 years in America. July 4th. And me, I love my country. I'm an American. Proud to be an American. Born and raised. I love my Black family. I love my brown family. I love my Catholic family. I love my Christian family. I love my Muslim family. I love my Hebrew family. I love everything that it is to be Black and brown. I love everything that it means to be that, and all its beautiful colors and arrays and our history. I'm speaking of the good things of these type of Americans. I'm very, very proud of my group for the good things that we have done, from the great things that we have accomplished, and still yet the great things that we're doing and the great things that we're accomplishing as Americans. Not just Black Americans, African Americans, brown Americans, Catholic Americans, Christian Americans, Muslim Americans, Hebrew Americans, Jewish Americans, for those who are Black and brown who are Jewish. I love all my Black people globally, but I have a special love for American Blacks and browns as well. Like I said, this is not to leave out anybody. I love everybody. I care about everybody. Yet, there's some people who I just love a little bit more. There's certain people who I just care for a little bit more. And that's okay. Everyone prefers their group. There's nothing wrong with that. But I don't believe, as an American, I don't believe that others should be disenfranchised for me to feel good about myself. I don't believe, as an American, that others must be in pain so I can be in pleasure. I don't believe as an American that others have to be marginalized for me to be successful. But that's what, from the track record, that's what being a white American is all about. That's the heritage that they celebrate. They're eugenics. They're white Euro American eugenics. So happy birthday, America. July 4th is around the corner. All right. Switching gears, I think I'm going to talk on the last topic before I get out of here because I got to get something to eat and I have to go meditate. I meditate I meditate every day. I meditate every day, and um, I do active meditation. I do still relaxation, seated meditation. I practice mindfulness, as far as body scanning, seated body scanning, or when I'm laying in my bed, I do body scanning. Um, but today is Monday meditation. And on Mondays, I have an Instagram also as well. It's called Cabin Black Wellness. And there I chart Sunday to Saturday. I chart my daily routines. Um, so, really quickly, Sunday is my fun day. So, I will post a video or pictures about what I did for that day. Monday is my meditation day, so I will post a video of me meditating. Tuesday is vegan day, so I post something that I eat that is vegan. Wednesday is my moto run day, so I would typically run like a 5K that day, or I do sprint drills. You know, I do all that just to stay healthy in that regard. Thursday is my calisthenic day. I do my push-ups, pull-ups, crunches, dynamic stretching, etc., etc., etc. Um, and then lastly, the last 2 days, Friday, I do yoga. Friday's my yoga day, and Saturday is my rest and relaxation day. So Shabbat Shalom uh, is what I say every Saturday when I post something, um, or Happy Sabbath or Saturday Rest Day. Anyway, um, so I have several social medias. Um, one, I have a couple of them on Instagram. I have Cabin Black Wellness. I have Cafe Wish Podcast. And then I'm developing another channel called Nerd Station, which I'll get into later. I have that on Instagram as well. I have this YouTube channel on podcast. I'm creating um, a space or a platform or a space for me to platform my podcast on other uh, social medias, but primarily I'm focusing on running through YouTube um, with Cafe Witch Podcast. So I'm on YouTube. I am on something, not something, what is it called here? Hold on, give me a second, sorry. Um, this is Podbean. So I have 3 episodes already up on Podbean. the first episode on Podbean. This is all for um, to distribute my podcast to YouTube. So eventually, so this is the vision, a part of the vision as well. Okay, I'm going to use live stream to broadcast. I'm also going to use Podbean to broadcast and to distribute my my episodes onto YouTube, to Instagram, to Spotify, also to Substack, and so forth and so on. So that's my social medias for right now. Once again, I'm developing Nerd Station. That's more going to be more my fun channel. Like I said, I'll get into that more, but just to give you a quick thought of what that's going to be about. So if Cafe Witch podcast is for my mature audience or my intellectual side, Nerd Station is going to be more so for my artistic, funny, goofy side, more so. And I will be working on a lot of reactions, like K-pop, Try Not to Laughs, reactions, and also some documentaries and whatnot. Things to think about, Nerd Station, nerdy stuff. So the anime, the mangas, different movies and TV shows and whatnot. So, yeah. All right. So that is the vision so far for that. So I think the three topics I addressed was the human zoos or the Substack. Excuse me. I addressed my Substack, going over the human zoos and eugenics, race, racism, and racist. Then I pivoted to talking about 4th of July, happy birthday, America, 250 years. Proud to be an American, love being American, love my American people. I love everyone. And I also talked about, pivoted, talking about my social medias and things of that nature. So I think that's it. I think this is, I'm winding down here on this live stream. So, all right. If you tune in or watch this on the replay, I appreciate your support. Thank you so much. This is Cabin Black. You just watched another live from my podcast, Cafe Wish Podcast. Thank you for tuning in, showing your support. Please remember, it is free to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Donations will, if you want to support through donations, that will come later. I'm still building here, so bear with me. And hope you guys have a blessed day. And also remember to be smart, be happy, and be healthy. Take care, guys.